How did Robin stole fire? Ages ago, in the dream time, the ancient time when the world was created, the first people lived on earth as birds and other animals. They created the culture and tradition of today. This is a story from that time. One day, near sunset, a group of hunter birds were returning to the village when they met an old man. The old man was carrying a spear and an empty day pipe called a dilly bag. When the old man approached the hunter birds, he stuck his spears into the ground as a sign of peace. The old man began to speak to the bird. I have come a great distance. My brothers and my moons have passed. I have traveled to the place where the water speaks with the voice of thunder. I have passed beyond the mist-hidden mountains to the great red plains, and I have traveled through the land that lies beyond the dawn. I have had many adventures. I would like to rest with you for a while. In return for your kindness, I will tell you the secret of the fire of the sun. The leader among the birds decided to take the old man back to the village and give him some food. A wonderful meal was quickly prepared. When everyone had finished eating, the tribe gathered around the old man and waited for him to speak. No one knew about fire during this time. When living things enjoyed the warmth of the sun, they often wondered how to take fire from the sky to provide warmth when the snows came. They didn't know how to use fire to cook food for or harden fires, but they knew fire would keep them warm. The old man began. Now I am old, and my pupils are scattered like dead leaves in the wind. But I have journeyed to the land behind the mountains that hide the sun. There was no water, and the creeks were filled with animals who had died from thirst. I nearly died as well. I hurried without rest, afraid that I might not survive. One day, when my tongue was swollen with thirst and my legs are weak, I saw a brilliant pool of water in the distance. The old man continued. I ran, stumbled, and crawled until I reached the water. When I lowered my face to drink, it was only sand, poor white sand shimmering in the sun. In my frustration and frenzy, I began to dig and dig until my hands were sore. Beneath the sand, dirt grew hard like clay. But I found water. The small trickle saved my life. The old man finished his story. Having rested for a day, I felt refreshed. After many days, I found a land where large trees grew. One morning, before the sun had risen, I saw a fire shining through the tree. I was curious, so I walked nearer. It was then I saw Mar, the cockatoo, take the fire from under his wing and hold it in his hand. I accidentally stepped on a dry stick and he hurt me. As I ran away, he threw a spear, but he missed me. From there, I traveled back to the hunting ground of my people, but they were gone. I followed their tracks until I found you, and now here I sit, offering you the gift of fire. If one of you is brave enough to steal it from Mars. The members of the bird tribe were very excited at the prospect of having fire for the long, cold winter. They all spoke at the same time, trying to convey their feelings and ideas for stealing the fire from Mars. But they did not listen to each other. Finally, one of the elders silenced everyone and said that he had devised a plan. They decided they would hold a party called Corroboree and invite Mar, the cockatoo, to the celebration. While he was there, someone would try to steal fire from him. At the celebration, there was dancing, singing and dancing, and lots of food and drink. There were even mock fights and tests of strength. The birds offered Mar a piece of kangaroo flesh, one of the choicest pieces, but he refused it. When they offered Mar the kangaroo hide, which he accepted before leaving the party, the feast quickly lost in its fun when Mars left the tribe and was not able to steal the fire from under his wing. They even began to doubt the old man's story. They were not sure the fire was under Mars' wing. One of the smallest birds, a wren named Pride, decided to follow the cockatoo back to his camp. He traveled many days, always staying out of sight. Pride was very wary, but when he saw Mar take the fire from beneath his wing, he flew back to the tribe to tell them what he had seen. Everyone was very proud of Pride for his ingenuity and bravery. It appeared that Pride had proved the old man's story was true. The elders held a meeting to discuss this news. It was decided that Tatkana the robin would make the journey to Mars camp to steal the fire. Early in the morning, Tatkana set out on his long journey. Tatkana traveled for many days. The sun was very hot during this time, and Tatkana became very thirsty and tired. But he continued and arrived at Mars camp one day just as the sun was setting. Tatkana was glad he would be able to sleep for the night before having to steal the fire. He unrolled his kangaroo rug and quickly fell asleep. Just before the sun came up, Tatkana awoke and began to watch Mar. While he was watching, Mar took the fire from beneath his wing to light a stick on fire, which he used to burn the hair from the kangaroo hide he had been given. When Tatkana saw Mar with the stick on fire, he charged into the camp and grabbed the stick before Mar knew what was happening. Tatkana was so eager to steal the fire that he got the stick too close to his breast and singed all the way. From that day forward, he was known as Robin Dreadbeard. Tatkana was frightened as have been burned as he flew with the stick, accidentally set fire to the dry grass. Soon all the grass and bushes were burning and the fire spread quickly. The fire roared like ocean waves as it spread out over the landscape. Birds and other animals raced just ahead of the flame, trying to find any place to be safe. But the fire just kept going. Tatkana was well ahead of the flame and didn't realize what he had done. Behind him, the bush was reduced to a black carpet of Mar realized what happened, he began to chase Tatkana. He quickly realized that the fire has been set free and that he would no longer be able to control it. He was very angry about his power being taken away from him. If he was no longer the only one to possess fire, he would be just another common cockatoo, and not someone important. He decided that he would kill Tatsana when he found him, as punishment for stealing the fire. When Tatkana arrived back at his father's yard, he was very afraid. Mar was right behind him. Tatkana was only a little guy, and he would be no match for Mar. He begged his good friend Quartan, the Kokabura, a larger bird, to defeat him. Quartan agreed. When Mar arrived, Quartan stepped in front of Tatkana and pushed his small friend away. Mar was visibly angry. "Let me have him," he said. "He stole my fire and then set the earth back aflame in his haste to escape." Quartan replied, "The fire is for everyone now. No one should freeze during the cold winters anymore." Mar was still enraged. "If you stand in my way, then I will kill you too." Quartan wasn't very fond of the idea of dying, but he had promised to defend Tatkana as best as he could. Mar lunged at him, and the two fought for several minutes. Qua was much bigger and stronger than Quartan and easily defeated him. Quartan retreated to the trees to save his own life. But Mar had had enough fighting. He was very sad and depressed. He glanced at the small pile of wood the tribe had set on the fire as he walked away. Whenever the tribal see a cockatoo, they remember how fire was stolen from him. The tribe was very pleased with the bravery of Tatkana. They prepared a great feast for the celebration and invited some local tribes to corroborate. With his fire, they could then slip into night and swim until the dawn. They gladly shared the gift of fire with their neighbors. The Tatkana was the center of attention, but he was shy and missed his friend Quartet, who would not come out of the trees because he felt ashamed of losing the fight. Tatkana told him it was all right, that he still loved his friend, but Quartet still refused to leave the trees, and he has never left the trees since that day. Whenever tribal see a robin red breast, they remember his heroic feat, which is recorded forever in the red bone on